to kind of move that boat forward, and they've got that right in the center of the locker room. They've got it blown up, and if you could trip over it if you didn't know it was there.
Jake Mueller grounded out last inning, takes a ball low and outside. Well, this Wake Forest team has been rowing the boat together very well this year to the tune of a 39-18 record. And hosting for the first time in nearly 2 decades an NCAA regional. Jake Mueller steps back in with a 1-1 count. Young man who played very little as a freshman last year, only 16 at-bats. Now as a sophomore, the Columbia South Carolina continues to produce. That's short list 2. Off the wall, Colin Stack comes up with it, but not in time to stop all 3 runners from coming in to score.
Jake Mueller gets a pitch outside, up and out over the plate. Doesn't try to pull it, do too much with it. He drills it down the right field line, and Jonathan Pryor got on his horse at first base. He was hauling around there, and Tom Walter at third base kept that arm in motion. You can see, almost looked like that was inside out type of swing, but he got the good part of the bat on that ball that time, drove it to right field, and Colin Stack out there wasn't able to come up with it cleanly. Jonathan Pryor able to come around and score.
Even though there was an error earlier in the inning by Michael Austin, a throwing error, all 5 of these runs are earned. Here's Fairchild as the Demon Deacons have batted around. Fairchild grounded out to shortstop last inning. He's from Seattle, Washington, and he's got family who've made the trip across the country to be here. The family section is packed behind the third base dugout. Fairchild looks at a strike. And this is one of the most talented players here this weekend. I mean, he's going to be a high-round draft pick next week, and quite likely Wake will lose him to the professional ranks after this season.
He's exactly what you want, your center fielder plus defender out there. Great speed, pop at the bat. He's got the tools they're looking for in all of them, and rightfully so. He's going to be a guy that, you look out there and you talk about plus defender, 147 opportunities this year, has not made an error this year.
Yeah. And Pac-12 schools weren't really on him. I mean, he had offers from UCSB and he had an offer from Santa Clara, but Wake Forest was his highest program that offered. There's an RBI single that he may turn into a double. Indeed, it's a stand-up double. In to score, Mueller. 6-0 Wake. And there is a right-hander warming up in the bullpen, Jamie Handley for UMBC.
Boy, you could see that. He's all hands, the ability to hit the ball out of the ballpark. He did it against Miami in the tournament. He turned on a fastball, hit it out of there, got a changeup, hit it the opposite way. Tough to fool him at the plate. His ability to stay back, wait, and make a decision and use those quick hands, that's a great example on that shot we just saw.
And now here is the 7th leading home run hitter in the country, Gavin Sheets. 20 home runs, 79 RBIs. He started this rally with a base hit. Earlier this inning, he's the 10th man to bat. Wearing the captain's C for the junior from Baltimore. And he is the son of 8-year Major League veteran Larry Sheets. You might remember him with the Baltimore Orioles. They profile similarly, big guys, big power strokes. And his dad was a 2nd-round draft pick back in the day coming out of high school. His son might wind up being just as high, if not higher, a draft pick. There's a high drive, deep right field. Stack looks up, and the ballpark holds it. Just got under it. But 10 men go to the plate for Wake Forest. They put a 6th spot on the board. it. Of course, Louisville was the team that won the regular season crown, but nobody outscored this Demon Deacons lineup. First pitch swinging, Brazil flies out to left. Wake Forest took second in the Atlantic Division this year. They were preseason number 5, but currently they are a consensus top 25 team. They are ranked by everybody. See the enrollment, just a touch under 5,000, so relatively speaking, a very small school for athletics in terms of trying to compete with some of the state schools in the ACC that have potentially far greater resources, bigger alumni bases to tap into. Aiello lifts a sky-high fly to center that sends Casale back near the warning track. And just before the incline, he makes the catch. We talked about this in the earlier game. That warning track, because it's all synthetic turf, it's the exact same field. There's no stones out there, no gravel, so they have a little incline to let the outfielders know you're about to run into a wall. Be careful. And Casale said he's not bothered by it. He wasn't spending any time worried about it. And it's not like the old Houston Astros hill that they had that they took out actually this past offseason, Towles Hill at Minute Maid Park. That was a very steep hill. This is a much less steep incline. Not in play here. Bruce Steele pops out. So a quick first inning and a quick third inning by Michael Austin, sandwiched around a rough 6-run second inning. Perhaps he's the SEC Network and ESPN3. Whip-around coverage also is available through ESPN3 and the Bases Loaded channel, and all games are available on the ESPN app. Doug Sherman, John Gregory sitting here behind home plate at the home of the Demon Deacons. Keegan Marinpo leading things off in the bottom half of the 4th inning. He's the number 8 hitter, struck out his first time. Austin's pitch is drilled to left. Beeman, nice job tracking and making that catch on the incline.
I know we're going to say this over and over, but that ball gets to that wall in a hurry in this ballpark.
Yeah.
It's 310 down that left field line. This is a line drive, and if it gets by him, it probably hits the base of the wall.
And now the sophomore from Henrico, Virginia, Logan Harvey, takes a strike. Harvey's a .257 hitter who walked and scored a run in that 6-run second inning. This is your number 9 hitter. He had a walk-off game-winning RBI single in the 11th inning back in March in a non-league game against Quinnipiac. Had a career-high 4 hits and 5 RBIs in Charlotte on March 21st.
He's a guy that can hit in the 9-hole. He spent time some in the 2-hole this year, so very valuable up and down the lineup. And defensively, it goes without saying how important he is to this defense.
Yeah, you know, they say that this team defensively is among the best in Wake Forest program history, and that's saying something. This is a program that, remember, won a national championship back in 1955. Foul tip. 2 balls and 2 strikes to Logan Harvey. There's that fielding percentage that illustrates how good they are.
A number that, you know, if you're thinking how good is 976, a number 975 is a number that a lot of coaches will use. They'll say, if we can be a 975 fielding team, keep our ERA, of course everybody would like that, close to 2. And if you can do that in a tournament style, then you got a good opportunity to win that. But that 975, and so key.
Harvey fouls it into the UMBC bullpen. Michael Austin, the right-hander for the Retrievers, has been very good in the first, third, and so far here in the fourth. High pop to right. Stack. Puts it away. Yeah, outside of the second inning, Michael Austin's been perfect.
Typically, that's the way it can be with starting pitchers sometime. If you can get to them early, it's a good thing. Some guys like to settle in. Of course, he had a really nice first, but as you said before, got to him pretty early there. Wasn't able to get out, struggled a bit. A couple big bombs, and 6-0 really quick. So if he can settle down, they got 2 back for him quickly. And they got it right after the inning, and they put up 6. So that was good for the offense for these Retrievers to come back to the dugout and put up a couple numbers after giving up 6.
Well, the big blow came from the man on deck, Jake Mueller, a 3-run double. Part of that 6-run second inning. Pryor scored on that double. Jonathan Pryor walked and came around. He also flied out his first time. Looks at a breaking ball for a called strike. Michael Austin honored second-team All-America East Conference. Played 3 years at Bethune-Cookman. He has transitioned from being an outfielder to a pitcher. And he told us yesterday, as he gets the strikeout, that it wasn't always easy. He viewed himself all through high school as only an outfielder, but if he's going to have a future in pro ball, he's going to be on the mound. He looked good that inning. Still 6-2 Wake Forest on top of UMBC. We apologize. We had some technical difficulties there, unable to hear the coach. But I can tell you what he was going to say. We love being here.
That's right.
And he 25 years ago was the star power hitting catcher for UMBC when they got to the NCAA tournament for the first time, and he has rebuilt this program, first as an assistant, now as the head coach. Jake Mueller retired on a nice play by Hunter Nolshin. 1 man away in the bottom of the 5th. Bob Muma, is only the 4th head coach in the history of this program, which dates back to 1967. It really means something to him to be the head coach.
Yeah, and all the talk about all the success that he had as a player there, he couldn't give enough praise to his players.
Oh yeah.
And the reason why they're here, certainly nothing about him, of course, and all about the players. And you could just tell he was beaming yesterday to be able to have his group here and participating in the regional.
Well, he is a native of Rising Sun, Maryland, so it stands to reason he would have a long affiliation with Maryland, Baltimore County. His 42 home runs, still the all-time mark, and 15 years as an assistant coach at his alma mater before taking over 6 years ago as the head coach.
Yeah, I said one of the biggest thrills, of course, is having an opportunity to get drafted, and the second is he wanted to be a head coach, and this is where he wanted to be. So nice to be able to live out the dreams and have the opportunity to do what you want, and he's taking advantage of it.
He's got a terrific staff. Liam Bowen, the pitching coach, he couldn't praise enough. We already talked about Larry Williams, their first base coach. Tim O'Brien is well on staff. UMBC with a record of 23 up and 23 down. And when you see records of mid-major programs in the NCAA tournament, they're not very impressive. A lot of time that's just because, if you're in one of those lesser leagues, so to speak, or you're from the Northeast, not that Maryland, Baltimore County is that far north. Stuart Fairchild with a base hit. You go south and play a lot of the big boys on their home turf for days and weeks at a time, and it can be tough for a program like UMBC to get a gaudy record because you're playing some of the big boys throughout the months of February and into March.
Yeah, you earn your stripes during that time, and that's the kind of ball that's going to get you ready for conference play and certainly the conference tournament. And because of that, you strive to, of course, do your best. As we see, we're going to get a visit to the mound, but you're striving in those ball games, and it actually looks like we're going to get a change on the mound. But you fight through those times, and if you can get through all those, it gets you the opportunity to get where you want to be at the end of the year. So playing all those games are also good recruiting tools.
So Michael Austin's night is done after 4 1/3 innings. He's the pitcher of record on the losing side. And we'll tell you about his replacement on the hill when we come back to Winston-Salem.
As we